Live from Paradise Studios in Massapequa, New York, it's Unger the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Tonight, Randy will be interviewing filmmaker Victor Garcia of the new thriller An Affair to Die For. Randy will also be reviewing the new films All These Small Moments and Bumblebee, with special guest critics Rachel Kolb, Vinny Bonfanti, and CJ Oakland. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, welcome to Unger the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger, and right now we have a filmmaker with us from Barcelona on the phone, Mr. Victor Garcia of the new thriller, An Affair to Die For. Victor, hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, man. Thank you.
So thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
So how's it going over there?
It's basically it's cold. It's 12 a.m. and I'm actually sneaking because I'm in an award ceremony right now. So I'm trying to walking around, trying to find a quiet spot because there's a lot of people up and down.
Okay.
So I hope you can hear me well.
You're coming through fine. So just tell everyone about An Affair to Die For. How did the project originally come to be?
Well, actually, I first read that script back by the end of 2014. It was sent to me by the producer, and I loved the project. I thought it was a really smart script, and so we basically tried to make it happen, which took us a few years, obviously, because it's going to be released now. But actually, we shot it early 2017, actually.
All right.
So it's been a long journey.
So it's taken a while, obviously. So would you call this a passion project?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely. Once I read the script, and it was a page turner. So I started just thinking about different ways to make the movie happen. So yeah. I actually. I've been doing a lot of sequels and sequels to remakes and stuff like that. And, lately I've been lucky enough to it's been a little slower, but I've been able to, my last couple of movies have been a little bit more personal. I've been able to add a lot of, my personal takes. And I've seen that, the Dance, which was the previous one, and this one particularly, I'm very excited. I'm very happy with it. It was a really it was quite an effort.
Okay.
To make the movie happen, and yeah, I'm pleased with it and feel passionate about it, of course.
Okay. Now, what was it?
You gotta feel passionate about every single project.
Mm-hmm. What was it like working with this fantastic cast? You've got Claire Forlani; she's wonderful. What was it like assembling this wonderful team?
It was fun. I was very lucky with my talent. Actually, they made things much easier. We were on a very tight schedule, and when you gotta shoot, when you gotta move that fast, you really need the actors to really commit to it and just give everything. Mm-hmm. So it was it was basically like that. I feel lucky. I've been very lucky with our cast.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Curious, what were some challenges you guys faced on set?
We shot the movie in 17 days.
Oh, wow.
So that explains a lot. Anything about how was every single day on set was like a rush. I can't imagine only one thing. This would take forever because it was several things. A lot of things can go wrong during the shoot, and obviously when you're shooting in such a tight schedule, they go south. So you gotta just turn it upside down and just make it happen. But I think that at the same time is one of the elements that make that condition somehow our way of shooting the movie. And I think that this really tight schedule and this rush actually made us treat instead of covering everything with 5 or 6 setups, we would have like 2 setups that we love. So everything is like the pacing. It's a slow war movie, and then when everything starts happening, then it's like it moves fast.
Right. And you had pretty much one set throughout the whole movie, this one small hotel room. So I'm thinking it might have been easy, but from what you're saying, it wasn't so easy?
Yeah, you would say so, but still, the amount of pages that you gotta cover in one day of shoot was like 5 pages.
Wow. Okay.
So even when you've got one location and you've got 2 or 3 characters at the same time on screen, still there's a lot of dialogue to be covered, and you can't stay the whole time with the camera just still, making everything happen. So yeah, obviously the fact that everything was that the whole story happened in one space, in one contained space, makes things easier because we're basically locked in on a stage, in a stage for like this most part of the 3 weeks.
Now,
when you spend like so many hours in one set, everything becomes kind of claustrophobic, which I think that actually helped me as a filmmaker, helped my crew, and obviously helped the actors as well, because you would feel that pressure at the end of the day.
Yeah. Now, I get the sense this is kind of like a 50 Shades of Grey meets Alfred Hitchcock type of movie. Are there any filmmakers who have inspired your craft?
During this evolved a lot, especially since between the time that I read the script till the moment I was actually shooting it, like 3 years passed by almost. So yeah, there's a lot of filmmakers that probably inspired some of the moments. But by the time that we were shooting those moments, I think that everything became kind of personal. Like somehow I'm not the best in order to tell about the references you can see in the movie. I think it's better for the actual audience to say, hey, this reminds me of something else. But we really try to go with our unique approach. That doesn't mean that I wasn't, that we weren't inspired by the work of other filmmakers. But that means that somehow I feel like we somehow digested all those thoughts, all those ideas, all those things that we were trying to replicate, and then basically made our own personal movie.
Okay. Now, in your mind, what makes a good thriller?
Oh wow! I think that especially these days in which you can watch the movie on your iPad or on your tablet or your smartphone or anywhere. What makes a good thriller and actually a good movie is whatever movie that you're watching that you can for like 90 minutes pay attention only to the screen instead of just being thinking of your social media and your messages while watching the movie. Like whatever movie that gets you glued to the couch and you can't look away from the screen. That's the one. That's that's a good thriller or a good movie.
Okay. Now, what do you hope audiences take away from this film specifically?
Sorry, say that again, please.
What do you hope audiences take away from this film?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you very well.
Oh, Victor, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked, what do you hope audiences take away from this film?
Wow, that's a tricky one.
That's why I had to ask it 3 times.
That's a really tricky one. And I think that, again, this is one of those questions that I would love for people to answer that question for you. I'm not, obviously, I just got my hands on a really smart thriller, and it just became something that I feel is somehow unique. And I think that people are going to appreciate the fact that we were really honest with the story, and that we took it really seriously.
Okay.
So the only thing that I can hope for the audience is actually what I said earlier, which is, hey, if you can't look away from the screen, we made it, and I'm going to be very happy if that happens. You know.
Nice. Now, do you hope to work with this casting crew again in the future?
I'd love to.
Do you have any other projects you're working on that you can talk about?
There's always like a couple of things going on. Honestly, I feel like sometimes I've talked about them, and then never happened. So yeah, I do have another thriller lined up that hopefully is going to start shooting later this year. But I feel like I don't want to reveal too much at the moment because maybe a little early in the game. But I'm really excited about this project, to be honest with you. Also, like this happens, you're gonna hear all about it.
Okay. Now, this is obviously a very intense thriller. I would love to see what you can do with maybe a comedy, like a romantic comedy, or something more light.
That would be, you know, the respect they have for comedy is huge. Like I think it's such a personal thing, you know, comedy. It's like I don't think that I do have a sense of humor, and I love comedies. I just like, wow, that's, I don't know. I feel it's not easier to work on other genres because every single genre has its own piece, right? But comedy to me, it's like the genre that I have more respect for. And obviously, I'd love to try to. It's just that, you know, in my sense of humor is, you know.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I think audiences would love to see something, you know, lighter, more happy. But
Absolutely, yeah. No, I gotta give it to you. Like, my movies are not like the most optimistic movies ever. I'd love to do an optimistic movie. That's for sure. Yeah, that would be quite a challenge, and I'd love to take that one.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing that. So Victor, tell everyone how can they see the film? Where can they see it?
Movie is going to be out. You want to be honest with you, I know it's going to be out in theaters in the U.S. February 1st.
Okay.
I know it's going to be on Prime VOD.
All right.
Not sure about what platform, to be honest with you. But I would love to do that. To know that, like.
I think you should know. You're the director.
I haven't been told. So if you happen to, yeah, I know, right? Yeah. I mean, if you happen to have that information, I'd love to hear it.
I'll email you later. But the film is coming out soon.
Please do.
Yeah, and it's a taut, intense thriller, and it really keeps you guessing, and it's actually really refreshing to see filmmaking of this caliber. So, Victor, I want to thank you so much for your time today. The film is great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, take care now.
Thank you so much for your work. You too. Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys,
Bye.
so we're going to take a short commercial break from our sponsor, and we'll be back with our film review segment right after this.
Unger the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, welcome back to Unger the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger. And as always, I have a wonderful panel of guest critics today. We've got CJ Oakland, Rachel Kolb,
Hi.
and Vinny Bonfanti. Guys, you're no stranger to the show, so welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How's everyone doing, CJ?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. Anything going on in the
Just working.
your screenplay world?
I was sick for about a month straight.
Right.
So I'm about 2 weeks behind on everything I had to do.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm finishing almost everything I have to do for the month. So
Okay.
I've been productive, but it's killing me.
Okay.
Please tell me you at least got to watch some good movies while you were sick.
Kind of.
That's a shame.
I binge watched almost all of the show Burn Notice.
Oh.
Because I
really?
remember that was a thing.
Bruce Campbell, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I love Bruce Campbell.
That was
He's
a
great.
good
Such a great actor.
Yeah.
Take
Well,
Donovan.
wouldn't say great, but
He's a fun
He's a fun actor to watch,
entertaining
yeah.
watch. That makes him great to me.
He doesn't
Yeah.
act. It's Bruce Campbell. That's what it is.
Bruce Campbell
And
is
it's
Bruce
just-
Ash vs.
Campbell.
Evil
That's
Dead
it.
is one of my favorite
That's
shows
a good show.
because it works so well around.
yeah. I think they should have done a movie after Army of Darkness. Didn't they have something planned?
They had
Yeah.
the Ash vs. Evil Dead that ran for
Yeah.
3 seasons, which was
Well, the show, yeah, but like an actual feature.
It
They
was
were
always
talking about
rumored.
it, but they never had a chance.
It was
was-
supposed
yeah.
to be after the series, but the series got canceled by Starz because too many
Yep.
people were bootlegging it. So
I think Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, they should just join forces. I think they're going to do it
They probably
eventually.
will,
Yeah.
eventually. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I heard there's a game coming out.
Oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
Like a board game or
No,
a
like video game with Ash.
Well, they had a few so far.
But for the newer consoles, this was
Oh,
like
okay.
Xbox and PS2 at the time. Those
Okay.
those were
Okay.
good games too.
They were, yeah, they were.
Fistful of
I
Boom
played
Stick.
one of them a long time in high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel, how are you?
I am doing excellent. Went to go see some theater this weekend.
Good.
This play called The Modest Proposal, unfortunately. Today was the last day of it. But if you like weird sort of post-apocalyptic theater,
There, perfect.
there you go.
Very
Yeah.
appropriate right now. And Vinny,
How we doing?
when I saw you at the holiday show, right? That was
That was the last time I was on the show. Yeah.
It seems so long ago, yet so.
Seemed like yesterday. What are you talking about?
I don't know. It's weird. I had a great time. That was a great,
Oh yeah, it was.
that
It was a good
awesome.
show.
So what's going on with you? I know you always have stuff going.
Just busy.
Yeah.
We're trying to get up and running with more stuff to film ourselves.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have content.
Anything you can talk about yet?
It's very early on.
Yeah.
A couple, maybe shorts,
Okay.
something like that. So hopefully soon we'll have something for you.
Good.
Yeah.
Shorts.
We don't really have anything. The screenwriter got sick for a while. Pushed
Yeah.
everything back. It's a real
I was
hassle.
trying to work around it.
Oh no, throw me under the bus. I'm fine with it.
I was trying to work around it.
Nice. So guys, we got 2 movies today.
Yes.
Not too terrible.
No.
Yeah, I think 2 movies is a good,
Yeah.
it's a good format. All these small moments of family dramedy, I'd say.
Yeah.
Starring
Yeah.
Molly Ringwald, which was pretty much why I selected this film.
Same here. Same
It's like,
way.
what has
like,
she been
interested.
doing lately? Like, I mean, I just remember from the 80s, obviously.
Yeah.
And she kind of just went downhill as an adult. And now she pops up in this. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, has she been pretty active?
Yes, she was in that Secret Life of the American Teenager, I believe.
Okay.
She was the mother in that.
Okay, kind of a similar role to this?
Yeah, similar
Okay.
role. Yeah.
And she guest starred on a lot of shows. So
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
she was on Psych a couple.
She was
episodes.
just on Riverdale.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
okay.
Archie's mom on Riverdale.
So she's popping up like in random roles, usually as a mother now.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? It's now everything's all nostalgic and retro. So now
Right.
you get like the Brat Pack, and she was like one of the forefronts of the Brat
Yeah.
Pack. So now you
Right.
put her on like Rivendell and
Yeah.
other '80s stuff. So
Yeah.
which is cool.
Are you guys fans of her early work? Obviously,
Who isn't?
classic.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the John Hughes era.
Yeah.
So great. Well, flash forward 30 years, because here she is as a mother to 2 young sons, one of which is in love with this girl on a bus, and he's kind of like finding himself. She's in a turbulent relationship with her husband, played by Brian
Darcy James.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's
Yep.
excellent in this
Yeah.
too.
Excellent actor. Of course, recently in Spotlight, Oscar-winning movie Spotlight.
Yeah.
He's also the father on 13 Reasons Why. And New York, people that follow the New York theater scene would definitely know him from a whole range of shows that he has
He's
been
kind of
in.
like a Ty Burrell type, like a mild-mannered.
If you see especially his stage work, he has much more range than that.
Okay, okay.
He can do comedy, he can do drama, he can do pretty much anything. He's also a song and dance man.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, basically anything that you want to do, he's pretty much down for it. So,
Cool. So, guys, what did you think of this movie? It's a smaller film. It's not obviously not a
Yeah.
superhero blockbuster.
No.
But CJ, what'd you think?
It was okay. Like, I enjoyed watching it. I got what it was going for.
yeah.
It was just really weird that I'm sitting here watching this movie about a 16-year-old boy who's stalking a 30-year-old woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like just straight up stalking her for
Yep.
half the movie, and I'm like,
I mean, it's a
And they
crush.
try to make it look magical.
I
Yeah.
know. Here's the thing, like, and
I wouldn't
like,
say magical, but
Yeah, like they play the whole
Yeah,
time it's
yeah.
romantic comedy, but it's like if you swap out and put in like the soundtrack to like Criminal Minds, like it would be like he's just stalking this woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Basically.
halfway through the movie, she suddenly shows interest in him, and it's like, wait, what am I watching?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's a statutory rape. What's
kind of a
going on?
360
Yeah, like-
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I mean,
odd.
there's
like,
a scene where he I mean, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but he sort
No.
of touches her hand at
But like,
the bus
Yeah, like,
stop.
here's the
weirdly,
whole
didn't
thing is
necessarily
it was-
touch. It was like
Yeah.
more
yeah.
of a
In the movie,
yeah.
like he's on the bus, like watching her constantly, and she's aware he's watching because you see like her eyes like looking at her through like the window. So it's like she's
Yeah.
aware that this boy's watching her, and then
Right.
it's like he starts kind of following her a few times, and then as
Yeah.
they're both on the bus station next to each other, he like tries to touch her hand like
Right,
this
right.
without her knowing,
Yeah.
where she clearly is aware he's doing it.
Yeah.
Well, the initial
Yeah.
contact, she did smile back to him when he looked at her.
Yeah,
on
but
the
that
train-
doesn't-
on the bus.
Kids,
That doesn't mean
I-
like,
Got all
oh, I
that.
smiled. He can follow me now. I know.
Was
Here's
yeah,
a lesson,
he was
kids.
kind of following.
From your Aunt Rachel. Just telling you kids at home, if you watch this movie,
Yeah.
do not take the lessons from this. That this is
Yeah.
the
Do
not
proper
touch
You'll
way.
get
to do
strangers'
arrested
it.
and prosecuted.
This is not how to do it.
This is not heartwarming and sweet. It's very weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're trying to show like he's in a troubled home life, so it's like it's understandable. but
He's reaching out, literally.
yeah,
you
the
know?
problem is there's a lot of movies and TV shows that do this, where like the kid has a crush on a girl, so he starts following her and watching her all the time, and it's
Yeah.
easy to show in a movie because it's like, how do we show that this kid really likes this one girl? Oh, we'll show him watching her wistfully, like I wish I could be with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it ends up just being stalking a lot of the time, and
Yeah.
it's kind of not a great thing.
It
to
is
show.
a little stalkerish, yes.
It's yeah,
But I think the filmmaker's intent was to kind of mimic the Molly Ringwald era of like pining for that
I guess.
unreachable goal of in
I
a
guess.
woman or a guy. You know,
I mean,
But it's weird when she's 30
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
underage.
it is a little weird.
it's like the movie was awkward. Like
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
greatly acted, you
Yeah.
know, awkwardly. Like you've seen other movies do it better than
Yes.
this. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And it's,
I don't know if I'd say awkward. I'd say quirky.
I wouldn't even give it
It's-
quirky. I'd say
it's
awkward.
trying for
I just
quirky,
felt
but it's
awkward
awkward, but it's
watching.
also it's about an awkward time in your life as
Yeah.
a teenager. So it's like I could give it a lot of leeway on that. Like,
But it was
Yeah.
like
kids who don't know how to
overabundance.
act properly
Yeah.
around women, I'm like, I can understand that because there's a lot of people who don't do that. But it's also just weird how the movie kind of never really goes into the fact that he's stalking her. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted one moment where like his brother is aware of his crush on this girl and he like talks to her, and I wanted the brother to be like, wait, you followed her down the block? Yeah. It's like, you realize you're stalking her.
I
What?
really just think it's an intense
I'm
crush.
telling mom.
I don't think I don't think there's anything illegal going on here. I
No,
mean,
not legal, but I
No,
think from
but just because something's illegal doesn't mean something's legal
Yeah.
doesn't mean you should do it.
right, yeah, no,
like
that's a
you're
good point.
watching, it's like, am I rooting for him?
Yeah.
Do I root
I think we're
for him?
supposed
And
to,
as-
unfortunately.
And as someone that takes public transit on a regular basis, I would not be
Same.
charmed by this. I would not be charmed by a 16-year-old trying to grab my hand at a bus
but he's
stop.
likable in a weird way. Like he's
Because I know, because you know it reminds you of us, the
Yeah.
majority of us
Yeah, yeah.
growing up into that, you know, like, oh, I want the girl, that kind of thing. Like if this was an 80s movie and the 30-year-old kissed the 16-year-old, be like, all right,
In a
score!
way, it would've
You know?
worked.
Yeah, that's
Say
like
you-
weird science. Like the 30-year-old actress kisses the 16-year-old
Yeah,
actor. It's like,
and you were
yeah,
like, yes,
you did it.
but now you're like, I don't know.
It's weird. I know. It's
Yeah.
definitely.
I will
weird.
say though, Harley Quinn Smith was really, really
She was great.
great in
Wait,
this.
which one is he?
No,
She's the
she.
girl in school who likes him, who's the age-appropriate
Yeah,
one.
okay,
that-
That's
yeah.
actually Kevin Smith's daughter.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Kevin Smith's daughter.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That's
Yeah.
good.
And I'm just saying because I'm a fan of Kevin Smith and all
Looks
that.
nothing like him. Like I don't see
That's
the.
a female.
Takes after,
Well,
takes
yeah.
after her
Her
mom.
mother, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I just thought
Yeah.
she really, especially the scene when, I don't want to spoil anything, when she was explaining something,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, wow, that actually
Yeah.
is like the most genuine thing I feel in this whole movie.
Yeah, like,
Throughout the whole movie, like I couldn't think of a.
she definitely gave the best performance
Yeah.
to me because it really like hit the drama. It didn't
Yeah.
feel like it was
Yeah.
trying too much. It felt like very genuine. Like I really loved her performance.
Yeah.
She was funny. She was dramatic. It was.
There was
the
no
highlight
performance
for
in
me.
this movie that didn't work. Like
No, everybody was
it was
good.
like an ensemble.
Yeah.
Like it worked.
Everyone was good. Like I
Yeah.
can't sit here and say they're terrible, but it was just like the film and what the whole dynamic of the film was supposed to be. You're just
Yeah.
like kind of trying to follow you here, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And then they would have like weirdly edited scenes,
Mm-hmm.
like something throwing out something in the garbage, and then that was it. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to
Yeah.
mean something? Are they
There were
going
a
to go
couple
in the
times when I
garbage?
looked
Yeah.
away and I felt like, wait, what did I miss?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I felt like watching. I mean, maybe that's what the director was going for.
It's
you know?
sort of
Yeah.
like a hipstery, like, let's try to be as clever as we can type of editing.
Yeah.
In that way, you know?
But it just like,
Which is annoying.
You know, I think the audience today is a lot smarter than some filmmakers perceive them to be. You know, like you look at Chris Nolan, he'll hit you with a bunch of stuff, and you're just like, I get it. I might have to go back and watch it, but I'm interested and intrigued. This was like, was that necessary?
Right,
like,
right.
was I missing something? That kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So do you think this movie has replay value?
Not really.
Yeah.
No, it's not something that I ever feel like I need to go back and revisit. And I'd much rather go back and revisit something like The Squid and the Whale that tackles
Oh my God, the
very similar subject matter.
That was Jeff Daniels a couple years.
Jeff
Yes.
Daniels, Laura Linney.
That was
yeah.
05, I
and,
think.
and that was Jesse Eisenberg, like one of his first big movies
Yeah.
was in that.
I remember that had some memorable moments, I remember.
Oh, definitely very memorable.
Much better than this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think,
Yes.
like, is this a coming-of-age story? Like, where would you place it?
It thinks it is.
I think that's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like the main character doesn't get like a lot of growth in the film. Like he's definitely a kid in a troubled family, and then it
Kinda
kind of
just
still ends
stays
with him
there.
as a kid in a troubled family. But he's talking about like it's not one moment in your life that matters. It's all of these moments is like the name drop kind of thing. But it's like
Right.
I don't really. You showed us a lot of moments. I don't really know that any of them mattered all that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that whole like voiceover thing at the end, I felt like it was a real grasp for them to try to be like, this is what the movie's about.
Wonder
We're
Years.
literally gonna just tell you exactly
I almost wish
what
the
it
whole
is.
movie was about Harley Quinn Smith's role. Like her
Yeah.
character, like I was a lot more invested in her.
Yeah,
like, every
big
time
time.
her
Yeah.
talking to him, like I was really invested in that because like a lot of these movies, you have the loner kid, and then it's like he pines after the girl, and then this girl comes up to him, and like very clearly interested in him, but he's kind of interested in a 30-year-old woman instead. But it's like I'd almost rather watch a movie about them. I like their interactions.
I'd rather just watch a movie with Brian Darcy James, actually.
Yeah.
Between like the separation between the two, they're great actors together.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see more Molly Ringwald, to be honest.
Yeah, like honestly, like I was trying to figure out their relationship. Like
Yeah.
they really didn't talk about what led to where they were.
Right,
You know, it was
right.
just like, oh, we have issues here.
I think it was a
Yeah.
gradual
Yeah.
strain that led to it.
Like,
Yeah,
I like
the-
when he was explaining it. Well, I forgot what was he saying. It was like an art piece and like how it was like a beautiful picture and it was all muddy, but I like the muddy. You know, like okay, but I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they kind of get into a little bit with the cutaways to the marital, like
Yeah.
to the therapy scenes where Molly Ringwald talks about that she stopped kind of caring
Yeah.
and putting like that. That's kind of set up to be her side of it. That she stopped putting in the work into their relationship, and then he ended up cheating on her with this other woman.
Right.
So
Very murky waters there.
Like it feels weird that like we're following the story pretty much all about this kid and like his relationships with his brother, his family, these two women he's interested in, but we're also just randomly cutting to the parents to talk about their stuff, but we never really go in depth enough that I'm invested in them. Like it just kind of shows them in like the therapy sessions, like just a single shot of like the person talking where it's clearly like he's telling the story I'm expecting to the kid or to a therapist, and then just cuts away to a different scene, and they kind of kept doing that a few times.
So the editing makes it seem like it's two separate movies that are
Yeah.
kind of
yeah, like it
side by
feels
side.
like
They're on
they wanted to do a movie about
parallel.
the parents maybe getting a divorce, but
Yeah.
they're not sure. But then also their kid growing up, but they kind of just push them together, and neither one kind of develops enough.
That would work if it was
Now,
that.
from a filmmaking perspective, do you think the editing is to blame for that?
Not necessarily. I just think there was just a very couple of few out of shot scenes because, like, when you edit, you know, you want to have the audience follow along with you, and then
Yeah.
some things have significance, you know.
Right.
But then it's like I'm just gonna walk over here and throw the trash out.
That's
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Right.
You know,
right.
like
is
it's
there
different-
some artistic meaning to that?
I just think they wanted to.
It's like, you
'cause
know
there's-
what?
you-
I've thrown out trash too. I feel invested in this character.
No, I can connect with this
Honestly,
movie.
like the movie was actually kind of short. It was only an hour and 24 minutes, not
Yeah.
even an hour.
Yeah,
and a half.
yeah.
So like maybe that was the time thing. Well, we want that extra minute. Let's put that throw in the trash scene.
I think that was
You
the
know?
perfect length, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have made it any longer. than
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know?
No,
It's
no,
like
no,
very. It was very condensed, very simple. Like there was
Yeah.
only like
I
the
can't
school,
imagine
the
more
bus, and the
footage to
house.
put
That
into
was
the
it.
film to add anything.
Those were the
Yeah.
three. Those were the three places.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys felt the same way about this, but I felt like the scenes that worked the best for me, weirdly enough, were the scenes with him and his friends where they're just hanging out watching the weirdest TV.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
and
with
getting
the-
aroused by like
Yeah.
cooking shows.
Yeah, watching, like the melon baller thing and like the
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
around that. I'm
And
like,
are they, like,
They're watching like a spelling bee, and like one kid has his hands in his pants, and they're all kind of like half.
Yeah, you
rubbing,
know what
like,
she's
No, it's
asking for.
gymnastics.
but like
Yeah,
the
no, and
conversations
and
that are
spelling
happening
bee.
though,
Yeah,
and
okay.
how like some of these things come up. That he's like, "Hey, have you heard of this girl?" And like the way that that conversation goes, it did feel very.
And was that like
real
one
to
of
me.
their houses? Like, what was that?
I don't know where that was, honestly.
like
It
some
looked like it
random
was in a
living room?
warehouse. Like,
Could have been seemed like one of their friends' houses.
Yeah.
I don't know where that
And are they
was.
stoners? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's
Stoner,
implied.
Yeah, they-
junk fooders. That's
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
It's like,
Yeah.
you know?
they wrote the kids' dialogue pretty well. Like,
Yeah.
I followed along with that, except for the weird, they're almost halfway to a circle jerk, but not quite. And I'm like, when is someone going to whip their dick out? Because it's going to happen at some point in this
Yeah.
movie. It feels like it's building to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a strange choice.
I was close
Yeah.
with my friends. I was never that close with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm out of here.
And obviously, not having been an adolescent male, I can't speak to how that was. It's strictly just the conversations
Yeah.
that they were having, and like the things of, oh, have you ever heard about the person that did this with a melon? Like that's the type of stuff that would come up.
Never had
with-
that type of conversation with my friends growing up.
Not that
as a
particular
teen or a
conversation.
preteen or-
No,
I mean-
but
as a teen, that kind of happens a few times. Like,
Yeah.
not often.
American
but
Pie sparked some interest in people.
No,
That was
yeah,
about it.
every now and then-
That was it.
Yeah, no,
But-
like there's
every now and then when you hang out, there's going to be that one kid who goes to Ask Jeeves and just types in boobs just to see what'll
Yeah.
come up.
Yeah.
That was childhood, basically.
or the
boy.
kid that it's like, oh, so and so that went to the school across town, they
Yeah.
did this, and isn't that weird?
Yeah, it was a
So yeah.
It was just such a random thing to throw that set in. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one, guys. Well, guys, you see it, skip it, or, I mean, is this on your radar? I don't know.
It's interesting. Like, I wouldn't recommend it myself just because it's like, it's really weird. I don't know to root for the main character now because I want
Yeah.
him to stay away from
It's
this
him.
30-year-old woman.
You want to-
Yeah.
Like, every time
I
he's
wanna
like,
leave
like
her
he's just
alone.
staring at her on the bus, and I'm like,
Hit
kid,
the
no, you gotta
train.
be smarter. And then it's like, no, he's following her, and it's like, I didn't know what their age range was. Like, I didn't know if
Yeah.
they were trying to say like she's a college student. Who
I
just
thought
kind
she was
looks
sort
a
of like
little older.
maybe even late teens
Well,
at
she
that.
said she was getting
Yeah.
a divorce. so
Right,
you have to
right.
assume
Well,
how
yeah, but
old
that
it
was later on when they just showed
Yeah.
verbal tattoos. I thought, okay, maybe she's like, what is she like? Supposed to be like 22, and he's
Well, Jemima
16?
Kirk, she's like in her early, the actress
Yeah,
in
no,
her
and
early
then they say
30s.
no,
Yeah,
she's
she
in her
was on
30s.
Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, Girls, good show, by the way.
Which the actor who plays the boy is 24 years old, but he plays a 16 pretty well. Like,
Yeah.
he looked like a
He's got
knockoff
that
of the kid
face.
from Stranger Things, who's
Yeah.
his weird older brother. Like, he plays it
Yeah,
well. Like, I
that's
could buy him as a
Yeah.
teenager, and that was the problem. It's like, okay, you look like a teenager. She looks like she's in her 30s, so I don't even really like the age gap in these
Yeah.
the actor and
Totally
actress. Like,
ambiguous in their world.
it seems very weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rachel, what do you, skip it, keep it?
I would say just watch something else with these actors, with
Wow.
like Brian Darcy James. I mean,
But they're so good. They're great in their own little elements, like their own
they're
worlds.
fine.
Yeah.
It's the problem that there's only so many hours in the day, and there's so many other better projects that he's worked on. I think
Okay.
that you could spend your time on.
Okay.
So
Well put. Mr. Bonfanti.
Well, these usually aren't my type of films, but if they're good, I always recommend them. But this one was just like, meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah. No thumbs up or thumbs down.
It's just like,
it's a mess.
if you
It's
like
right,
it,
right.
there. It exists.
It exists. It's there.
It exists.
and
Watch it if you want it.
I'll forget about it in a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. Wow.
It didn't hurt me to
There
watch
might be
it.
like
It
a
was
few
just
scenes
like,
like I'll show to a friend where I'm like, oh, check out this scene.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn Smith does a great job in this one. Like,
Yeah.
this is a good example, but like, it's not kind of worth watching the rest of the movie to sit down for, unless
Yeah.
someone's really into these types of movies.
If you're a hardcore fan of any of these actors,
yeah,
like
then
Molly
it's
Ringwald.
worth checking out.
Yeah,
I just
if-
wasn't too invested.
If you're a Molly Ringwald completionist,
Yeah. Well, guys, now that we're on the topic of finishing this up, favorite Molly Ringwald performance?
ooh. I guess I gotta go with 16 Candles.
Yeah.
That's kind of like when you think of her, that movie just pops in your head.
Yep.
You
That's
know?
up there.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah, aside from 16 Candles, I mean, Pretty in Pink. I came to that one
Yeah.
pretty late, and I love Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Cool. See.
I don't know. I guess when she was on Psych.
Okay.
As a guest
Really?
star is like,
Was she that good?
She was in some
it wasn't so
sci-fi
much great,
space
I'm
movie
just,
that was really bad too. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
It's like
about.
that long title, like Adventures or something. I was like,
Yeah.
I've
Wait, it's a
seen
series
it-
or a movie?
It was a movie.
It's a
Okay.
movie.
It was way back in the day. I can't even remember. It had to be one of her first ones.
Yeah.
'Cause that
Yeah.
movie was just
Okay.
bad.
Very bad.
Well, for me, it's got to be, I think, The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, that's
Like,
another one.
That
too.
was just an ensemble cast right
Yeah.
there.
See, that's why I love 16 Candles. That had a great ensemble
Yeah.
cast too.
Yep.
Movies back then were great, man.
They were.
They were just, unfortunately, don't make dramedies like
Well,
that
it was
anymore.
the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, and then in 20 years, people look back on all these small moments and say the same thing, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe Edge of 17. I
Yeah.
could see that.
Okay.
There's other dramedies I would say from
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
era that people more likely
they're
look
out
back
there.
on.
They're
Yeah, or mid 90s.
Comedy?
Oh my God.
Eighth
Oh
grade
goodness,
was
yeah,
one of my
eighth
favorite
grade,
dramas.
Eighth grade, yeah.
I'm really
Of course,
shocked that I
eighth
didn't
grade.
get nominated for
Yeah.
anything.
She wasn't nominated for a
Nothing.
Golden Globe either. I
Eighth
think,
grade. There
right?
were a lot of snubs
Or no,
this
she
year.
was.
that-
She was nominated for a Golden Globe, but she wasn't for an Oscar. I
No.
think.
Yeah.
A lot of snubs this year. I'm a little,
That was
little
a travesty.
disappointed.
That was one of the most authentic movies I've ever seen. Like, I loved her performance. Every
Yeah.
character was so good in that film.
Yeah. I didn't think she was so great, particularly. I thought the movie
I think
itself
like the
was
fact
fantastic.
that they portrayed life as like an 8th grader like so well. Like
Right.
as I was watching this, I watched it in a theater with some old people, some girls who were like around my age, like behind me in a group, and like I went by myself because no one else would
That's
go
a
see
weird
drama
movie
with me.
for 30
Yeah,
somethings to go.
But it's like just a random group of people in the theater, and every time it's like when she starts typing on a computer, it's like how to give a blowjob. You just hear everyone like, "Honey, no!" Like everybody felt it like, "Oh no!" It's like that awkward period where you want to know things but you don't know how to ask.
Yep.
Like I think pretty much everyone's been like that awkward teen phase.
Yeah.
So it's very identifiable, and that's what I really loved about it.
8th grade nailed the awkward teen phase a lot better than this movie kind of did.
Yeah.
Because it's like I felt the awkward teen phase they were trying to go for, but he was also kind of stalking her, and like that really overshadowed it for me.
Yeah.
Like, I had trouble being like, that's not a traditional teen thing to go through.
Yeah.
Although a lot of teens do that, and that's kind of a problem. So
So I'd say go see 8th grade instead of all these small moments.
that would be
For
my
sure.
recommendation.
And mid-90s, also
Yep.
excellent. All right, guys, so let's move on to the more fun movie of the
Yes.
evening. The new Transformers film, Bumblebee, and it is actually a prequel. It takes place in 1987, and it focuses on B-127, a.k.a. Bumblebee, who, I'm more unclear, he crash lands to Earth
Correct.
because the Decepticons are chasing after him, or he's going
to Earth.
He's going
He's
after
hiding.
the
To
Decepticons.
protect her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the scout going to
Right.
make sure the planet's safe and
Sent
they
by
can
Optimus
have everybody
Prime.
regroup
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Yep.
And in the process of saving humanity, he befriends a very quirky teenager played by Haley Steinfeld, and they embark on this wonderful Spielbergian bond
E.T.
friendship.
adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the best part for me.
Absolutely.
You guys are probably all Spielberg fans as
Oh,
well.
yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I took away from this movie,
Yeah.
and it was handled so beautifully. So CJ, what did
Really
you
was.
think?
I love this movie.
It's
It was
great.
Yeah.
so
It's really good.
because I'm a big Transformers fan. Like I watched
Okay.
the cartoon when I was a kid. I had the toys. Like I love the Transformers. And when the first Transformers movie came out in like 2007 or something,
Yeah.
with Michael Bay, it was like, oh, I'll go see this. And I was really disappointed because the Transformers weren't characters. They were just kind of
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and it was more about human characters doing everything. And it's like. Optimus, no character really had a role. They had a gimmick. Like every character was
Yeah.
like, oh, there's the angry one, there's the helpful one, there's
the Ninja Turtles in a
very
way.
They're just
there's
archetypes.
the
Yeah, yeah,
extremely black
Just also
stereotypical one that was very
rapping
uncomfortable
and
to watch.
dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And even Optimus Prime only had like the good version of Optimus Prime, like freedom is the right of all sentient beings, and I'll take your face. There was no in between.
Yeah.
And each movie got worse in that
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
Like each
I
one
stopped
had
after
no-
part 3.
Yeah, that was
I
a good
couldn't.
decision.
I could
It's just
not.
I couldn't see the last one that came out because it's like each one just had more of the same problems. Like the human characters were bad, the Transformers weren't even characters,
Right.
and they actually made no sense.
Well, I love Shia.
Yeah,
I mean,
Shia LaBeouf was
great.
okay, but it's also like his character doesn't really have an arc in any movie.
No.
Megan Fox has more character development, her character in the Transformers movie, than he did. Like she should have been the main character if anything. And this movie turned it around so well. The
Yeah.
plot worked very well. I love the characters, and they were all written very respectfully.
I
Like,
wish they could just
actually-
reboot the whole series with this.
That's
movie.
what I want to do. I don't
Well,
want any
from
more
what I
of Michael
hear is
Bay
happening.
ones.
Yes,
What I
that's
hear
what
is
I'm
happening.
hearing.
This
too,
one,
is that it
for the love
good.
of God,
Yeah.
please just go off of this movie because it
Yeah.
was so
But
good.
it's not a
Yeah.
reboot. They don't like to say the word reboot. So
Right. Well,
I don't
this
know.
is a prequel, so it'd
It's,
be like
it's like a soft reboot.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh, okay.
because the fact of the matter is that at the end of the movie, they show the rest of them coming to Earth. So
Yeah.
it's not going to be like the previous one where they haven't gotten to Earth until the events of
the
the
whole
original.
series is a big contradiction of
Yeah.
itself, you know, with
Yeah.
everything it does, you know, from when the
Yeah.
first one, oh, well, you know, your great-great-grandfather was the first one to meet, you know,
Yeah.
Megatron. And then in the last night, oh, no, you know, we
Yeah,
are all...
Bumblebee was fighting with.
World War II. Now I'm like, what's going on with this?
Wait, which one is that? Are you talking?
The last night was the last
God.
one they did.
Now,
Yeah.
once Mark Wahlberg signed on, I just gave up all hope. I gave up all
Yep.
hope after part 2.
Yeah.
But I can't stand Wahlberg. I've mentioned it before.
I know, you don't like it.
And he's not my cup of tea. Like, I know he's like this heroic leading man type, but
All right. When he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's bad.
I prefer Dwayne Robinson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Yes, thank you.
Robinson.
Robinson.
The Rock. I prefer The Rock.
Nah, he's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as far as Mark Wahlberg, I like him when he's in a supporting role.
Yeah.
When he's in a good supporting role, like something like The Descent,
Departed?
Departed, yes,
Yeah.
The Departed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He was
in
on
The
it for an Oscar for
Departed,
that, but,
or even the other guys. I mean, he can do really well.
He could be a good character actor. He's
Yeah.
just not a good actor. He doesn't have much range.
I
He's
don't
not
think
leading
he's
man.
likable at all.
I don't like him, but it's like when he plays a character part that's unlikable, then he's perfect for it. For me.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, anyway, back to Bumblebee.
Yes. Yes.
Rachel, you like the Spielbergian type?
Yes, I liked all the throwbacks to 80s films in it, including
Yes.
their numerous overtures to Heathers, which I appreciated
Yes.
because, yeah, that was really fun.
Great soundtrack too.
Yes, very good soundtrack. Definitely a throwback soundtrack. I loved the design of Bumblebee in this. The animators did an incredible job turning it.
ILM,
turning
right?
it.
They did this too.
ILM, but it's also quick little thing. So Travis Knight actually he got hired because he opened up his own studio. He did films like Kubo and Coraline, and his big deal was that he wanted to where Michael Bay was all gears,
Yeah.
he was more parts. Like
Yeah.
he wanted to have solid parts to make them feel whole, like
Yeah,
a person.
yeah.
And instead of having their eyes, he'd put like little flaps on their eyes so you can have expressions and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that was
which
great.
really added into the movie.
It
Yeah.
definitely had a series, like Batteries Not Included.
No, I love
You
that.
know that movie?
I love that
was
movie.
so
You kidding
great.
me?
It kind of felt that way to me. And,
Yeah, and the ears were very puppy-like.
yeah.
So
Bumblebee was cute. He was adorable.
he was very sweet. Yes.
He's honestly the face of the franchise,
Yeah.
more so than Optimus. Optimus
He's the
is-
heart. He's the
Yeah.
heart.
Absolutely, and on the cartoon show, he wasn't like as predominant as he is in the movies, but somehow it's like the one thing Michael Bay got right was Bumblebee.
Now, is this in any way connected to the 80s animated movie?
The beginning scene, absolutely.
Yeah,
the
Okay.
beginning scene.
It had
Yeah.
the spirit of the original cartoon because it opens actually on the planet Cybertron
During the
with
war.
them in a war actually fighting, and the action is so clear and so easy to watch,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
just
As
everything
opposed to the other
happening.
ones.
And it's like this is everything I ever wanted. If you just put out that 6 minutes in theaters, I would have paid full price
Wait,
for
you
it.
talking about the anime or the
movie.
No,
The
the
movie.
actual the Bumblebee movie.
The opening of Bumblebee
is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
exactly what the show was, and not even that. When Optimus comes in and jumps, it's the pose he did from the animated movie.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
That's
it,
cool.
it worked
Yeah.
so well. I loved it.
Yeah.
ILM should just do a series, like an animated series, but with.
Well, they're actually working on a CGI Cybertron movie,
Okay.
from what I hear.
Yeah, that
That's
would be
cool.
good.
That'll work.
Because this movie, like, it approached it in a very respectful way. Like, there were a lot of nods to the show and the characters, and they went to the original designs, which looked infinitely better than everything
What
that
we
Michael Bay
wanted.
did.
It's
Like,
just what we wanted,
like
Yeah.
every character, every time I saw a character I could actually recognize, I was like, oh, they're actually doing it. Like, in the Michael Bay movies, it's like they have a weird
Who's that?
silver robot come in, and then they were like, oh, and that's Soundwave. And I'm like, that was not Soundwave. How dare you?
Now, does John Cena's character come back, you think?
I don't know what they have in store for the next one. He was actually
He
pretty
was-
good in the
He was
movie.
decent.
He was, yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
was
like
pretty
him.
darn well.
great.
I loved him in Trainwreck, so
Yeah.
he's got some range.
He actually
Yeah.
has some of the funniest lines in the movie.
Right.
Yes.
I
You
know.
know?
It was deceptively funny. Like, there was
Yeah.
a lot of moments where the Michael Bay movie goes for a lot of, like, dumb humor.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
a
Michael
lot
Bay.
of dumb adolescent humor, which is what he does. Like, I knew that you would know that going in, but this movie has a lot of moments where, like, oh, they're going for the joke, and it's like, yes, it's the obvious joke, it's funny, and then they turn it in a new direction or take another step, and I burst out laughing when I'm not expecting it. Like,
Yeah, no, it was.
it had a lot of heart to
It
this
had a
movie.
heart and
Yeah.
humor, which
Yeah.
we definitely need in a movie like this.
I was
Absolutely.
going to say even the human characters are considered like antagonists, like John
Yeah.
Cena's character
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like the doctor that's wanting to make first contact and everything. They're not treated stupidly, and they're not treated like they're malicious. They have good intentions.
Right.
With John Cena's character, they do a really good job of setting up why he doesn't trust any of the Transformers. And they do a good job with the doctor with showing that he has the best of intentions going into this. He just gets tricked.
And I was pleasantly surprised because the poster makes it seem like John Cena's like this tough villain, but he's actually has a little heart. He's
Very similar to when I went to see it. He was reminding me of Carl Urban in Pete's Dragon,
Yeah.
the new Disney Pete's Dragon movie.
Okay.
Very similar character.
You know who I also like? Jorge Lindenberg Jr. who plays the friend.
Yes.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the character's name.
Doc,
Yeah, the character's
the
name.
scientist
It's like
guy.
Mo.
No, the neighbor.
Oh, that
Yeah,
kid.
Emma,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry, the name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
he was in a movie called Brigsby Bear. I don't know if you
Yes.
guys know
Yeah,
about it.
Yep.
I didn't watch that one yet, but I heard that's crazy.
That was on my for
Hamill.
2017. It was on my top 10 for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But he was in that. He's in this. He's always kind of like this best friend, stoner, likable kind of guy, and I think he added a lot to it.
Yeah.
But again, back to Haley Steinfeld. I think she's very young, but she's
Immensely talented ever since True
Yeah.
Grit.
Yeah.
True Grit is the
Very
first thing I saw her in.
Yeah.
And she's going places. She's
Yeah.
She
terrific.
did a great performance. She was also in Into the Spider-Verse as
Yes.
Gwen
Spider-Gwen.
Stacy.
Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
Yep.
So she killed in that role, but
Yeah.
this one, I loved how her character was done, and
Yeah.
the heart she brought to it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's funny to look at it. If you look at Megan Fox's character from the Transformers movies and her character, they're nearly identical. Like, they're both supposed to be
Yeah.
18-year-old girls who have lost their fathers
Right.
and have a passion for cars.
Right.
But
Yes.
Kind of like
tomboy,
tomboy, good-looking tomboys.
But seeing
right?
the way in which it's shot, whereas Michael Bay looks at that character and says, okay, let me have shots looking at her
Yeah.
ass all the time, and she's just there to look hot.
Yeah.
And this character, where she actually looks like she knows what she's doing and is actually complex character. She has
Yeah.
good relationships with her parents and the back and forth there.
And it would have been a little weird if they showed her ass.
Yeah, no, they
That's a
didn't
little-
objectify her. They treated her as the protagonist the
Right.
entire time, and
Yeah,
I loved
yeah.
it. It was so fun to watch.
Trying to think of another Michael Bay production with a character, like a strong female lead like that.
Not really.
No.
Yeah, in general, Michael Bay doesn't seem to like most of his
Yeah.
characters. He doesn't really have a whole
were-
lot of faith in humanity in general.
There were
so-
hardly any female astronauts in Armageddon. There were practically no female characters in The Rock, except for Nicolas Cage's fiance.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But the
it's a
fact that
like-
we're classifying it as Nicolas Cage's fiance.
No, but
I know
All right.
there's women
Yep.
in Bad Boys too that I think they get kidnapped and stuff.
they're
so
all
it's
sexy.
Gabrielle
Yeah,
Union.
they're
Well, here's the thing with Michael Bay. I'll give Michael Bay credit where credit's due. The guy knows how to shoot action scenes better than anybody.
like a music
Just,
video.
Yeah, but that's what he's. Believe it or not, him and
Yeah.
Zack Snyder were
Commercials,
film
yeah.
students in the same
Oh,
school
are they?
together.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And that makes a lot, But he's a very commercial director. You
Yeah.
give him a product and he'll make something out of it. Like, I don't hate all the Transformers movies like others because here I am. I was a big fan of it growing up. Being the era, so I was like, never thought I'd see a Transformers movie in my life. Here they are. Okay, the first one I thought was good. I
Yeah.
understand that it wasn't made for as much as people thought it was.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have a lot of the Transformers in it, so they wanted to have it in the action sequences. Good. Second one, I didn't like. Michael Bay says it was the writer's strike, whatever. Third one, there's really not much story, but that hour-long action sequence at the end
In
for
the
an action.
skyscraper.
Oh my God! I think
that
as
was
an action
good.
junkie like me, I'm like, okay, this
Yeah.
is great. But what does it have to do with Transformers?
Yeah.
It just looks good.
It's
but-
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact
Yeah.
that they had real guys, wing gliding and everything, like that was real.
Right.
And I really give him credit for doing stuff like that. And the way he's probably done the most at showing the military than any other movie.
Yeah,
Like all
yeah.
the toys. So I give him credit for that. But it's Michael Bay. It's not. It's like, oh, let's make a fart joke and keep going. Let's show her ass.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Like aside from the Transformers movies, I think the biggest departure from that might have been
13 hours.
No, the one with Wahlberg.
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain. Thank you.
I was another really over the top.
I've only
crazy.
seen parts of it on cable. I don't know.
But like, that was a true story that
Yeah.
he Michael Bay'ized. I
yeah,
call it,
yeah. That's why
Yeah.
I wasn't into it. Like,
I will
come
say
on.
Whoa.
that's I think my favorite Michael Bay movie is Pain and
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's out there though. It's
Yeah.
really out
Yeah.
there.
a lot weirder and more interesting than a lot of the stuff he usually does.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
most of what he
Yes.
does is kind of very standard action movie stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his brand of nihilism with his characters works for a story like that.
Yeah, because those guys were idiots to begin with. So yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the upcoming Bad Boys 3 then?
Well, he's not directing.
He's not directing?
No, it's
Well,
too. I don't even.
That's a
I think
shame.
he's just producing. Well, I mean, he probably wants a break after doing 6 Transformers before 5 Transformers movies in
Yeah.
a row.
His bank account is.
And now that this one comes out and he has nothing to do with it at all, and
Yeah.
it's more critically fine. I wouldn't say financial. Financial-wise, it came out at a tough. I think, but with the time this came out, people were like, "Oh God, not another one." And
Yeah.
the last one, the last night, definitely left a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
And
Yeah.
this one has good word of mouth.
And it's made its money back. It made its money back, but it wasn't like the huge hit they were
Yeah.
hoping for.
I think it did pretty well overseas.
Oh, everything
Yeah.
does well overseas.
Yeah.
China
Yeah.
loves this kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I think it was enough to be like, here, we care about these characters. We care, especially big Transformers fans, like what CJ said, seeing everyone in their G1, you know, modifications, I was like, oh my God, yes, finally! Why didn't you start with this? And the movie takes place in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I love the 80s.
Oh yeah, can't go
Even
wrong.
the throwbacks to "You Got the Touch" by Stan Bush coming over the radio, which was from the original animated movie. I was like,
all right.
I was like,
Nice
okay,
touch.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm happy if this is what they continue with. I think they'll be more successful than what the other ones before.
So this should be the
definitely.
norm. This should be the format.
I hope so. This should be
Yes.
the starting point, and you can have other movies where, like, with a bigger budget, you can show more action. You can have more of, like, what the actual war of them is, like Autobots versus Decepticons, each time doing something, because Michael Bay never really cared about them. Like, you could get rid of every character from the previous movie, and it would be the exact same thing.
Yeah, because
He's just like, this is big destructive weapon to this movie that's somehow hidden on Earth, but no one knew about it until this time.
God, that was Unicron.
Like, if you
oh my
look
God,
at the
that pissed me
timeline
off.
of all the Transformers movies together, it's just every 1,000 years someone's like, oh, we're putting this destructive weapon that can destroy the universe here. Here's this destructive weapon, this destructive weapon, this destructive weapon. It's like every criminal in town using the exact same hole to throw all of their drugs and weapons into. But somehow none of them realize they're all doing it. And this doesn't seem like a bad idea to anybody.
But not even that. There were characters in Transformer lore which were pretty predominant and important. They just kill them off like a secondary character. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, we can't kill that guy off. What are you doing? So
Now, is this the starting point up until... So there are no more Transformers coming to Earth between this and the Shia LaBeouf film?
According to the Shia LaBeouf film, there should be almost no Transformers at all.
There should only
and
be
then all the
Bumblebee.
other movies say, no, there were Transformers here pretty much the whole time.
Just Bumblebee.
Yeah. So I'm just
Yeah, it's
ignoring
just
all
weird.
of that other
I
continuity.
think the
I'm
studio
just-
wants you to ignore all that.
Oh,
I think
God.
that's what
Yeah.
they're doing. From what I hear,
It's so
they pretty
complicated
much...
and weird.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee just simplified it so much to say, like,
Yeah.
no, they're coming here now, they're being chased for the war, but they
Yeah.
want to
This
save
is
all
why they're
people.
coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I hear, they're really trying to just act like
Now, is this
Travis?
Travis
Yeah.
McKnight's doing, like, to simplify?
Well, this was his directorial
This is-
debut.
Oh, great.
This was directorial debut. Well, I mean, live action. He did all those the stop animation films.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Kubo, I thought was amazing.
Kubo was great,
Or like
yeah.
Paranorman, I loved too.
Yeah.
Paranorman, yeah.
So, I mean, he had a lot to do with it because, you know, you could look at the designs of the Transformer and I guess you could compare it to his puppeteering.
Yeah.
You know, the stop motion stuff, you know.
Okay.
And it just showed, like I said, they had heart, you know, and Haley Steinfeld, even, you know, she was like just as important,
Yeah.
like what you were going for. Like, I'm here to see the Transformers,
Yep.
but holy crap, this is such a great story and it's so much emotion with it too, you know. Like, when you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but at the end, like, you actually felt emotion,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And the other Michael Bay films, you were just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
jeez.
Just
you know?
action sequence after action sequence.
Mind you, I don't mind it,
It's
but
white noise
in
at this
any
point.
action movie, action scenes should be a bonus. Even if you go to see
Yeah.
an action movie, that's the bonus.
It's not
The
a bonus
story
anymore.
should
It's
be
just
able
the
to stand
norm.
on its own.
It's
but-
like I tell people with the first Taken movie with Liam Neeson, right?
Yeah.
Great story, at the edge of your seat, and the action was like, holy crap, now I
Yeah.
want to see him kick the crap at everybody.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, then they made two other ones, like, I don't, what's going
Two
on?
was
here?
okay. Three was.
There was no
I
point.
didn't even
there was
see
no
the-
point for sequels.
Yeah.
If
You're
you got
right,
taken
you're
again, I'd let it get taken until you learn
Right.
your lesson.
He's
you
become
know?
a new John McClane, and it's ridiculous. Well, guys, we only have a few minutes left, so I just wanted to go around and say what are some plugs. Anything's going on in the world of CJ?
No, I'm just trying to write scripts so this guy can shoot stuff and hopefully get some stuff going. So
Yeah. Okay. Anything you
on
can talk about now or hint at?
no, just trying to work on some ideas for like YouTube shorts, like trying to do some like short comedy or like drama kind of stuff, like
Nice.
just some stuff we can get together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. All right, we'll talk.
No, we
more.
might be trying to call you into acting something
Yeah.
if we find a
Yeah.
good role
If
for
you
you.
need, if you need an actor, I'm your man. You know, Rachel. Anything going?
Well, I've got some exciting stuff coming up for my theater blog, which is ludus, ludusnyc.com. And you
Yes.
can also find me on Twitter at ludusnyc.com, and my personal Twitter is at Rachel E. Kolb. You can find all my reviews and everything there. I've got, of course, a review coming out for that play that I mentioned earlier, A Modest Proposal, that will be coming out soon. And just stay tuned.
Cool. Awesome. Vinny.
No, just to reiterate what CJ said, you know, there's bigger projects that we really want to work on, but I think like anything, you have to scale it and maybe start small and work your way towards big, you know, get somewhat of a following, that kind of stuff, you know.
Tell everyone a little bit about your previous works.
Well, the previous stuff we did, the most recent one we did was pretty significant for us. We did a short film called Last Breath. It won International Film Festival in Manhattan.
Nice.
Jake Ramos, who's my partner in the group, he won for Best Director. We might also have another screening for that at Cult Cafe, hopefully soon.
Awesome.
Which would be cool. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Talking about with Jake. So, you know, from there, I think we looked at all these other projects we wanted to do. and it's exciting, but it's a lot of moving parts. And to make films, you need money and budget.
Yep.
So instead, I think we waited too long. We're deciding to start smaller scale and build our way up.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to any updates you have, guys.
Well, EternalLion.com, that's the website. Facebook, Eternal Lion. Instagram, Eternal Lion.
Nice.
ETERNAL. Lion. Eternal Lion.
Just specify.
Because some people are like, lion? No, lion, no, lion like the animal.
Yeah, the lion like the animal.
Yeah.
For sure. And some plugs from our sponsor, our wonderful sponsor, Magnitude Jewelry. February 2nd to the 3rd at the New Life Expo in Boca Raton at the Doubletree Hotel in Florida. And February 22nd to the 24th, the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles. March 3rd is the Wellness Conference in Staten Island, New York. March 10th, the Original Psychic Fair in Glen Cove, New York. March 22nd to the 24th is the New Life Expo at the New Yorker Hotel in Manhattan. And more to come on that. Also, you can get an extra discount at the Magnitude Jewelry website if you mention Unger the Radar, so there's that. So that's good. And guys, any movies that are coming out real quick that you're looking forward to seeing? CJ?
As soon as you put me on the spot, I forget every movie. Pass.
Damn it.
Well,
Sorry.
I'm still very anxious to see Bad Times at the El Royale. That's next up on my list.
That was actually pretty good.
That was
actually pretty good.
Yeah, I heard good things
That
too.
was one of my favorites from last year.
Is that out yet on?
It just came out, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And of course, I still want to see If Bill Straight Could Talk. That is very much at the top of my list.
Yeah.
So.
That'll round out the nominees for this year of stuff that we need to see, right?
Yes.
Vinny?
No, I know next month we got How to Train Your Dragon 3, which
Yes.
I'm very excited
Cannot
for.
wait.
Forbidden World or something? Lost?
Forbidden World. If
Yeah.
those movies really, if you want to cry, you get a hit in the gut with those.
Yeah.
Movies. Also, Lego Movie 2.
Yes.
You
yes,
know,
for sure.
I mean, other than that, I mean, obviously the summer films, which seems like they're right around the corner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But other than that, yeah, just those two on my list right now.
Okay. For me,
Captain Marvel coming out.
Captain Marvel, good one,
Obviously
good
that.
one.
Yes. Captain
Finally
Marvel.
thought of one.
Nice. And for me, Tim Burton's Dumbo, for sure.
Yes, I am
So,
very excited for
Yeah,
that.
I'm optimistically nervous because of what he's done recently with stuff that he's
we'll see how it
adapted.
goes.
I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I want to thank you so much for being here today.
Of course.
You know,
Thank
I love
you for
all of
having
you.
us.
Yeah, come back anytime. You know that. And yeah, I want to thank everyone watching at home and on your devices. This has been another great edition of Unger the Radar, and I'm your host, Randy Unger. And we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Unger the Radar is all new next week with more movie reviews and interviews on Strong Island Radio and Television. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.